Hello, welcome back to my channel. We have a 25-minute reformer core workout today. We are going to be using the pole, but if you don't have a pole, you can do all of this without the pole. It's just going to add a little bit more stability to your movement today. So that is totally up to you. Whenever you are ready, we are just going to get started. So we want to change our springs to one heavy and one medium spring. So that'll be different colours on depending on what reformer that you have. We are then going to tuck your toes under your support strap and rest your heels onto your platform. Lengthen those arms out in line with those shoulders, take a big inhale, and as you exhale, let's scoop ourselves back into our half roll back, taking an inhale to pause at the back, and then exhaling to re-lengthen that spine all the way back up to the top. So we really want to think about that articulation of that spine as we come into your half roll back, just gently tucking under through your lower spine, keeping that chest nice and open, and keeping those shoulder blades drawn down. As you roll back, think about keeping those wrists in line with those shoulders as well. So try not to point that pole up to the sky. Think about just your core moving here and nothing else. We have another 3 just like this. Just keep breathing through the movement, really focusing on drawing those ribs down to those hips and keeping that control. On your next one, we're going to hold in your half roll back. Holding it here, take a big breath in, and as you breathe out, let's see if you can raise that pole up over your head. Bring your biceps as close to your ears as you can. Inhale, lower those arms back down in line with those shoulders, and then exhale, we roll ourselves all the way back up to the top. We're going to carry on with this now. So exhale, we scoop it back into that half roll back. Take an inhale at the back to pause, and then exhale to raise those arms up over your head. Inhale, we lower those arms back down in line with those shoulders, and then exhale, we scoop ourselves all the way back up to the top, re-lengthening through the crown of the head at the top. Just taking these arm lift and lowers at your own pace. The slower that you complete these, the more tension you're going to be able to feel building on your core. So really try to not rush through it and just taking your time with this. We have another 3 just like this. On your next one, we're going to hold it in your half roll back and just move through those arms. So take an inhale here. Let's exhale to raise that pole up over your head, and then inhale to draw those arms just back down. Exhale, we raise, and inhale, we slowly lower. We're just going to stay here for another 4. Really try to not pick up the pace, go nice and slow for 3. Perfect, keeping that core nice and steady for 2. Beautiful, and this is your last one. Lowering those arms back down in line with those shoulders, and with control, just roll yourself all the way back up to the top, and again, re-lengthen through the crown of your head. We're then going to come into some full roll downs from here. So just shuffle your bum towards the edge of your carriage, lengthen those arms again, take a big inhale, and as you exhale, slowly start to scoop through that lower spine, coming into that half roll back position, but then rolling that spine all the way down, come into your lying down position on your carriage. Take an inhale once your head reaches your carriage, and then exhale to slowly scoop yourself all the way back up to the top, and again, re-lengthening through the crown of your head at the top. And again, we exhale to scoop and tuck under, going really nice and slow, controlling that down phase. So trying to not just slam our backs onto the carriage, rather trying to articulate that spine and feel each segment of your spine peel down and away from your carriage as you move through these. We have got another 3 here. Again, just really taking it nice and slow, taking your time, and think about that connection from those ribs to those hips as you scoop yourself up to your seated. Fab. And the next time you roll down, you can just stay down. So roll your spine all the way down, one vertebrae at a time. And then once your head reaches the carriage, we can just untuck those toes from that support strap at the bottom. We're then just going to come into some abdominal curls from here. So take a really big inhale, and as you exhale, let's bring that pole towards the tip of your thighs as you round through those head and shoulders, drawing those ribs down to those hips. Find a 1 to 2 second pause at the top before you then inhale to roll that upper spine all the way back and down onto your carriage. Exhale, we reach that pole towards the tip of your thighs, finding that mini pause, and then inhale, we slowly lower. That pause at the top will just really help us to connect through to those deeper core muscles and just ensure that we're not using any momentum to just swing ourselves up through the movement. Rather, we're thinking about those deeper core muscles working for us. We've just got another 3 here. Again, just really think about lengthening through the back of that neck, keeping that chest nice and open. And it's just that movement from those ribs drawing down to those hips. We're here for 2. Perfect. And on your final one, let's hold it lifted into that abdominal curl. Take a really big breath in from here, and as you breathe out again, try and raise that pole up overhead. Bring those biceps as close to your ears as you can get them, and then inhale, we slowly lower. Exhale, raise those arms without those head and shoulders dropping. Inhale, we slowly lower. Really nice. We're just here for another 4. Again, going really nice and slow. If you can't quite get those biceps to your ears, that's absolutely fine. Maybe just raise that pole up 2 inches and then lower it back down 2 inches. We're just here for 2. Perfect. And last one like this. Slowly lower that pole back to your thighs, but hold it lifted with your head and shoulders if you can. Let's take some mini crunches up and up. So reach the pole towards those knees. Exhale and exhale as you crunch through those pursed lips. Stunning. We are just here for 3. For 2. On your last one, hold it in your highest position and just take some big breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Just for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release through that upper spine and just take a quick breather. Okay, we're then going to add some resistance to your core. So just make sure that your foot bar is down so that your feet don't get in the way of your foot bar here. And then we just need to lie ourselves down onto our carriage, and we're going to thread your pole through the short loops of those straps. So one at a time, just threading them through the short loops. And then we want to hold on to the outside of your black straps. And we want to make sure that those wrists are in line with those shoulders from here as well. Once you've done that, we just want to raise those legs into your tabletop position as you press some tension onto that pole. So you want your carriage to move ever so slightly beneath you so that your wrists are in line with those shoulders and that you have that resistance already. Holding on to that resistance, we're just going to start with some single toe taps. So inhale here and then exhale to tap one toe down to your platform, and then inhale to raise it back into tabletop. Alternating legs each time and just making sure that those palms don't float back. So you are holding that tension at all times on that pole. We just have another 3 here. Exhale, we tap. Inhale, we raise for 2. Perfect. And last one like this. raising those legs back up and then just dropping those feet to your platform, bending through those arms and having a little bit of a breather from here. We're going to do exactly the same with your double toe taps now. So again, pressing some tension onto those straps, lifting those legs into tabletop, take a big inhale, and as you exhale, tap both of those toes down to your platform. Inhale to raise both of those legs back into tabletop. With these toe taps, we want to make sure that our legs stay in that nice right angled shape and that our whole thigh is moving away from our midsection. So quite often with toe taps, I see people just creating that smaller angle with those legs, just moving those toes and then keeping those knees in line with those hips. What we want our legs to do is move from your hip joints, so your whole thighs are moving away from your midsection, and that way you're gaining more tension onto your core. We're just here for another 3. Exhale, we tap. Inhale, we raise. Just do a quick check-in with those arms. Make sure they haven't floated back. For 2. Nice. And last one like this. And then again, just have a little bit of a breather from here. Just let that tension go for a moment. We're now going to find your abdominal curl in this position. So again, whenever you're ready, just pressing some tension back into that pole, lifting those legs back into your tabletop. We're now going to keep those legs still. Take a big inhale. And as you exhale, press that pole towards the tip of your thighs as you round through those head and shoulders. Again, finding that mini pause before you then float those arms back and lower those head and shoulders down. Exhale, we curl and lift, and inhale, we slowly lower and release. Just make sure that you do maintain that connection from those ribs to those hips throughout the entire movement, and that your belly doesn't arch or dome up to the sky. We just have another 3 here. Exhale, we lift. Inhale, we slowly lower. Really nice. For 2. Beautiful. You've got it. On your next one, we're going to hold it lifted. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, tap one toe down to your platform, followed by the other. Bring those thighs back to your pole and then lower those head and shoulders down. We're going to carry on with this move now. So exhale, we curl up. We then tap one toe down to your platform. Oh, I missed it there. Tap the other toe down to your platform. Bring those thighs back to your pole and then slowly lower those head and shoulders back down. So this is all about maintaining that control and that pause at the top, controlling it with those legs as well before you then slowly lower. We're just here for another 3, just really taking your time, try not to rush through these movements. Perfect. For 2. Beautiful form. And on your final one, let's hold it lifted. We're going to take 6 of those toe taps. So exhale, we tap. Inhale, we bring that thigh back. Exhale, tap. Inhale, bring it back just for 4. For 3. For 2. Nice. And last one like this. And then slowly lower those head and shoulders down and just take a little breather from here. Just give those legs a little wiggle from side to side if you need to. Rock out any of that tension in those hips and in your lower core. We now need to do exactly the same with your double toe tap. So again, whenever you are ready, let's press some tension onto that pole. Bringing those wrists back in line with those shoulders and then lifting those legs into your tabletop position. Once you've found that position, take a really big inhale from here. And as you exhale, we're going to lift up into that abdominal curl. Holding in that abdominal curl, we're then going to tap both of those toes down to your platform. Thighs move away from the pole, bringing both thighs back and then lowering those head and shoulders down. So exhale, we lift. We then tap both toes. Inhale, bring the thighs back and lower the head and shoulders down. So again, really separating through those movements. We are just here for another 3. I know it's really probably burning by now. For 2. Beautiful. Once again, on your final one, let's hold those head and shoulders lifted. Let's take 6 of those double toe taps. Exhale, we tap. Inhale, bring the thighs back. Exhale, tap. Inhale, bring the thighs back. Beautiful. We're just here for 4. You've got it. Keep breathing for 3. Nice, everyone, for 2. Stunning. And last one like this. And slowly lower those head and shoulders all the way back and down. And again, just take a little breather. Give those hips a little rock out from side to side if you need to. Stunning. Whenever you are ready, you can keep the pole into the loops, but just pop it behind your head for a moment. And then we just need to set ourselves up and change our springs. So we're going to go to 1 medium spring if we can. And then we just need to swivel ourselves around on our carriage. So we're going to sit facing towards the shoulder blocks. Your legs are going to be lengthened in between those shoulder blocks. And then we're going to grab a hold of the pole in both hands. Again, just holding on to the outside of those black straps. Make sure that you've got a bit of room behind your bum on your carriage. We're going to hold those wrists up in line with those shoulders. Take a really big inhale, and as you exhale, we're going to scoop ourselves back into your half roll back. Just stopping in that halfway position. Again, pause to take an inhale, and then exhale, we restack that spine all the way back up to the top, lengthening up nice and tall through the crown of the head. Exhale, we gently tuck back through those lower core muscles. Take an inhale here. And exhale, we slowly scoop ourselves up. So it's going to feel a little bit different from those half roll backs that we did at the start, because the carriage is going to move ever so slightly beneath you whilst you do this. Try and keep those arms as long as possible whilst you're doing this. So don't pull any tension on that pole to try and help yourselves up. Just think about your core doing all of the work here. And again, we're thinking about keeping those shoulders down and away from those ears, opening up through that chest, and it's just that lower portion of your body that is working. We just have another 2 here. Exhale, we scoop it back. Inhale at the back, and exhale, we scoop it all the way back up to the top. On your next one, we're going to add on our overhead raise. So exhale, we scoop it back. Take an inhale to pause, and then exhale, we bring that pole up over your head. Again, biceps come as close to your ears as you can. Inhale, lower that pole back down, and then exhale, we restack that spine all the way back up to the top, re-lengthening through the crown of the head. Exhale, we scoop it under. Take an inhale here. Exhale, raise that pole up over your head. Inhale, lower that pole back down, and then exhale, scoop yourself all the way back up to the top. Really nice. So this is all about the strength in your shoulders as well as your core. As you'll notice, the springs can feel quite heavy in this back position. So just make sure that you take it to wherever you feel like you can today with that raise of those arms. If it does feel like it's a little bit too much, maybe just don't raise those arms as high. We just have another 2 here. Again, really working with that slowness and that control. So really try to not rush through it. We're looking for quality here over quantity as always. On your next one, we're going to hold in your half roll back. We're just going to take those overhead raises. Exhale, we raise. Inhale, we lower. Exhale, raise. Inhale, lower. Again, we're trying not to rush. We're just here for another 4. Really holding that tension through your core, drawing those ribs down to those hips. For 3, you've got it. For 2, perfect. Use that big breath out. And last one like this. Exhale, we raise. Inhale, we lower. And then we scoop ourselves all the way back up to the top and just take a little forward fold over those legs just to release any of that tension through your lower back and through your spine. Whenever you're ready, we're going to set ourselves up, change our grip to an underhand grip on your pole, and then we are going to bring the soles of your feet onto your headrest. We're going to gently tuck under through your tailbone, coming into your half roll back position. We're then going to raise one of our legs into tabletop, followed by the other, and then we're slowly going to restack that spine and come all the way back up to the top. So a big breath in here, a big breath out, we scoop and tuck. We take an inhale, then we exhale to raise one leg. Inhale, we lower. Exhale, raise. Inhale, lower. And then we scoop ourselves all the way back up to the top. So what we're trying to do here is just begin to find that tailbone balance and that control through those deeper core muscles. And the support of that pole is just there to help us. We just have another 3 here, just taking it really nice and slow and thinking about that breath out as we raise those alternate legs. On your next one, we're going to hold it in your half roll back. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, raise one leg and then slowly bring the other to meet it. Find your boat pose. We're now going to exhale to tap both of those toes down and then inhale to raise both of those legs back up to your tabletop. Again, just really taking your time here, finding your balance. There is no need to rush at all. You've just got 3. You've got to find that balance for 2. Beautiful. On your final one, lift those legs and let's hold. Just keep breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower those legs all the way back and down and restack that spine back up. We're going to finish today with some practice on your full teaser. So let's bring that pole behind your thighs now. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, scoop yourself into your half roll back. Once again, we're going to point those tippy toes and raise those legs into your boat pose. Find your balance, take an inhale, and then as you exhale, lengthen those legs. Your chest will slightly come behind, and then we inhale to bring it back up. We've only got 2 here. Exhale, we lengthen. Inhale, we bring it back up. Final bit, we're going to hold. Lengthen those legs and hold. Keep breathing in that full teaser for 5, 4, 3, 2, and slowly come all the way back up to the top. Really well done. We're just going to stretch out a little bit from here. We're going to pop those long loops back onto your shoulder pads. Just remove that pole and we're going to go onto one medium spring from here. That quick little finisher with those teasers was quite sneaky. I know it was. Whenever you are ready, one medium spring, we're going to come onto your hands and your knees. Hands are onto your platform, knees are onto your carriage. We're going to come into some nice cat-cows. So take an inhale to arch your tailbone back, send your gaze forward, and then exhale to scoop through those abdominals around that spine up to the sky. And then we inhale to arch that back again. This should feel really quite nice after all of that core work. And it should feel like a nice stretch all throughout your spine as well. We're just going to go for a couple more here. Fab. And then whenever you are ready, we're going to send those knees away, dip those hips down to your springs and come into your cobra. So just making sure that those shoulders are away from those ears and just really getting that stretch and that length through your core. You can even take some rotations from side to side with your gaze just to get a little bit of a deeper stretch here. And if you'd like, you can even take your gaze up to the sky. Again, just getting that bit of a deeper stretch all throughout the front of your body and throughout those core muscles. And then we're slowly going to draw your carriage all the way back in, sinking your bum back to your heels and coming into your child's pose to finish. Just press that carriage away, lengthen those shoulder blades away from each other, and just take a few big breaths here in through your nose. And send that breath out through your mouth as you just let that whole body release. And then again, whenever you are ready, let's just slowly ripple that spine all the way back up from the base to the top, with the head coming up last from here. And let's just take some backward shoulder rolls once you reach the top, sitting up nice and tall. And then we'll just finish off with some neck circles. So nodding that chin into your chest, drawing those semicircles from side to side with that chin. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I hope you really enjoyed that. I will see you on the reformer or the mat next time.